This program is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
Well, hey everyone, I'm Chuck Cureau, and welcome to The Best of the Beat. Now, every week on air and online, KLRN offers a glimpse into the world of the arts in San Antonio with The Beat. We've gone into caves to hear music. We've traveled down dusty roads to see an artist who draws in the dirt. And of course, we've been to San Antonio's best museums and art studios to see paintings, dancing, and theater. Well, today, we want to bring you some of the best stories we've had the pleasure of doing over the past few months. We call it The Best of the Beat. San Antonio's art scene is as wonderfully diverse as we all are. In the 1950s, the West Side was hopping with doo-wop harmonies and horns. The sounds were called Chicano soul, and in some circles, it never went away. It's gaining popularity again, with groups finding the groove. It makes it hard for anyone to just sit still. Here's Eddie and the Valiants.
Soul music is just on a big swing right now.
This music has resonated throughout generations.
I feel like San Antonio's original feeling for this organic San Antonio sound is kind of like it's calling them back.
It's soul music, it's R&B, rhythm and blues, and but it's just kind of done in the San Antonio way, you know, the way it just kind of haphazardly came out. Eddie and the Valiants, what does it mean? All these bands back in the day, they had that kind of style name, you know, so-and-so and the so-and-sos, you know.
For someone who has no idea what it is, you know, it's definitely doo-wop influenced, it's soul influenced, with a little bit of rock in there.
We're almost like remembering what it was to be a part of that time.
It's a pretty big band, yeah. We got 11 guys. We got 3 doo-wop style singers doing the 3-part harmony thing, just like the Royal Jesters and bands like the Commands did. All these bands are from San Antonio. A couple of guitar players, myself and Steve. My brother Johnny Hernandez is on drums. George Latta, our good friend, is on bass. Tom Dyer on organ. And we got 3 horn players, 3-part horn section. Rudy Estrada on trumpet. Roger Escobar on saxophone, and Dan Klein on trombone. We're playing the music as closely as possible as how they were recorded, playing period correct gear, dressing the part, you know, just giving the whole show.
I really feel like we want to lift up these past musicians. We want to lift them up from where they maybe took a break, and bring them back up and say, hey, we want you to know that we truly and greatly appreciate the music that you made. We're starting to notice that a lot of soul music in the world, especially San Antonio soul music, is starting to catch a higher buzz.
They get a taste of it and they realize, wow, this is really impressive. It's amazing to know that some of these guys, you know, walk these streets. They came from the West Side, the South Side.
I really think that this genre and what we're doing, what we're tributing, is really special. It's something that should not get lost.
The established sound that they made here in San Antonio, it was something that's very, very special. It's a gem, I would say a gem of the whole world. It's a gem of sound.
And they created this music here amongst our community, so it's part of the DNA really of the culture.
I feel like we've got a duty, I've got a duty to keep it going, to show these millennials and these younger generations that, hey, this came out of your city. This was a really special time here in San Antonio. Music was fantastic. And we just want to show them the music, perform it, and let them experience it for themselves.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, everybody knows San Antonio is Military City, USA. So it's the perfect fit for the city's Department of Arts and Culture to create this exhibit called City of Service.
We are Military City, USA.
It's official, and we're the only city in the universe that has that trademark, and rightfully so.
We should be proud of the service that these individuals have provided. The exhibit, which took us a year and a half to come up with, is called City of Service. And it's about our military bases, our 5 military bases, and all the individuals who have served from San Antonio.
Our city of San Antonio has had a relationship with the military for 300 years. And so this not only depicts the service and the sacrifice and how the city is so connected with the military. But if you look around, it reflects the diversity of the military, it reflects the diversity of the city. And if you look at what some of these folks are doing and some of the paintings depict, it depicts family, how it affects our families, but it also depicts the importance of the military missions that are here.
There's nothing that the Center for the Intrepid and the DoD won't do to help people live a full, rich life. You know, we've got everything from a gentleman who is just learning to walk. He's tethered to the ceiling just in case he falls. This one is really interesting because it's of what they call the KLRN. So it's a virtual reality, and this is something I had never even heard of before, and it was so enlightening to see this kind of apparatus and get them to kind of rewire themselves for walking with a new apparatus or post-injury or something like that.
I was told this is Olga Custodio. These are a few of the articles, and so I kind of started reading up about her. She is a mother. She's accomplished so much, but more importantly, she says that she wants to be able to give to the community. She's very humble and very confident, and so in that, she wanted to make sure that that was something that was communicated in her portrait.
It's very heartwarming to see this, to see these individuals come here and to recognize that they're remembered, they're honored, they're not forgotten.
It's important for us to connect. It's important for us as citizens of San Antonio to make sure that this legacy continues.
So most artists will tell you they began their creative endeavor when they were just a kid. And that brings us to our next story. In Alamo Heights ISD, they connected their pre-K students with their high school artist for an exhibit. The collaboration took the vision of every child and created some very special art.
I draw a house with an apple tree next to it. They put a person in front of the house and they put more houses behind the front house.
She was really happy with the collaborative piece because she likes teamwork a lot, and I do as well, so it just made me warm inside just knowing that we're happy because of the same things.
I felt happy because it's teamwork and we both work together.
It was really interesting to see how first graders took the idea of contour line and applied it to their art, and then the different things that high school age students did with the same concepts. It was interesting how nervous my high school students were in doing it because they worried that the little kid wouldn't like what they've done. But all the reactions were positive. Everybody enjoyed how they all came out.
I was really excited to get to reinterpret what they had brought to the table, given I think creativity is at its peak in the mind of a child. It was really interesting to see how different people interpreted their pieces. Pieces such as this one create a new relationship within the piece itself, taking more of what the high school student was able to see rather than the child, whereas this one continued the style that the child had brought to the table and merely elaborated on what they were initially trying to say.
Well, initially I just thought like, oh, this is very abstract, like I can totally do something like me with this, because I'm a very just go out and do it kind of artist. I don't really have to like plan anything, so I just thought that would be a really fun thing to do.
The teacher said we have to draw lines, just lines.
Somewhere along the way, we tend to lose that, and in some of my assignments in class, the hardest part is the starting point. And so this allowed my students to have something other than an empty canvas. It wasn't quite as intimidating, and then the collaborative aspect, I think, helped them free up a little bit.
I really enjoy just working with little kids, so it was really like heartwarming for me.
There are so many forms of art, paint, sculpture, music, poetry, theater, and the list goes on and on. Storytelling is one of the oldest forms of art. TV and film documentaries can highlight both audio and visual elements for the artist. Two local filmmakers, Born Logic Allah and Baba Andur Maat, want to make sure that the history of African Americans in the Alamo City was told in their documentary, Walk on the River.
History is it's instructional and it's inspirational.
If you don't know where you have come from, then you don't know where you're going.
History can be used to confirm a people's humanity or deny a people's humanity.
That's what we're trying to do, show people the past so that we can take those lessons on that blueprint and see how we can move forward together as a people.
We've discovered probably the most effective way to get that story out was through film.
Our history goes out into way out to Bexar County, out in Elmendorf.
Very little is known about the African American experience here in San Antonio and what African Americans have contributed to the growth and the development of this city.
Because that's going to be the most contentious part of the whole movie. We discuss topics like religion, politics, land ownership, businesses, and what we strive to do is paint a picture of what it was like during that 100-year period for African Americans here in the city.
It's not focused on the one life. This is a film that really documents the life of a people. When it comes down to finding those people that we wanted to interview, it was like a connecting of pieces.
A lot of the African Americans that lived in that particular community, they lived in shotgun houses, but they were the people who actually did the work.
You know how you interview one person and then this person tells you, well, you need to go talk to so-and-so. And then that person tells you, well, you need to talk to this person.
Well, a lot of the employers up in Almas Park, Terrell Hills, San Pedro area, they employed domestics, and those domestics settled around in those areas, which we know now around Santa Rosa Hospital, downtown, off downtown area, Cameron Street, and they formed their own neighborhoods.
We went to different locations. We read numerous books and articles. We sifted through hundreds of photos and newspaper articles and newspaper clippings. And you know, honestly, it was more of a research project than it was a film.
Once we was able to interview all the people, it just created a beautiful, cohesive story that really showed how many contributed to the success of all.
We started trying to gather photos in July of 2017, and we literally finished production the day before we premiered it, which was in August of 2018.
The undertaking really was about trying to share that piece of information that we hope would inspire people, would uplift people, would be encouraging to know that there's a great history of us here in this city as in the world.
You see it in the Spanish language, Mora, M-O-R-A, means black. There's a street here in San Antonio called Zarzamora. Zarza is berry, Mora is black. Literally, Zarzamora means blackberry.
Have you ever wondered how an everyday object becomes art? Well, that's the beauty of the talent of an artist, looking at something that we all see, but in a different way. Now, let's face it, not everyone would look at bullet casings on the ground and think, hey, that would make great art. But artist Matt Tumlinson did just that.
Each one of these pieces is a little bit of my soul. It's something that I've thought about and worked through in my mind, and it's a little bit of my soul that I've put down on canvas. I was a history teacher, not a very good one, but I was a history teacher. So I graduated from Texas Tech with a degree in history, and found out real quick that teaching wasn't going to be my thing, and took a couple different jobs here in town, and just kind of gave me a little more well-rounded view of the world, I think, and then the art thing took off. About 5 years ago now, I started doing it full-time and making a living at it. It was just something I've always loved to do. Always drawn, always just had to be creative. It wasn't something that I wanted, it was just a part of who I was that I just had to make. Just always kind of had ideas that I was running with, and the bullet thing kind of was just one of those that I just kind of ran with. At the same time I was drawing and painting and just kind of doing whatever I wanted to do. It's a great kind of metaphor for whenever people sort of assign their perspective to something. I mean, the bullet casing is such a small thing, and that there's this whole big controversy and background to it that just goes so deep that I really thought, that's something that I can sort of reframe. And sometimes I think if you can reframe some of those things, that people tend to look at it in a different way. And I like that you can do that with art too. You can take my perspective and show it to somebody else and say, well, I've never really looked at it from that perspective before. The painting that's really the fun, easy part. It's all the in-between of gluing everything down that really takes forever. There's a lot of layers, which is real similar to what you do with oil painting. But to get in all the little cracks and crevices in there, you just got to paint over the top. And it's challenging and fun, but there's not been a book written about how to paint on brass canvas, so I'm kind of writing it as I go along. And that's just kind of the things I enjoy of going, oh, well, that's interesting, or oh, maybe just don't do that again. But yeah, that's kind of what I enjoy about it. So I've got my work's in a gallery in La Jolla, California, the La Jolla Gallery. There's one in Bernie, Texas, at Texas Treasures. There's one in Round Top at the Copper Shade Tree. And so you have people from all over that have seen these things, and I just recently sent one to South Korea. I realize that I'm completely blessed to do what I love for a living, and I think that's, at the end of the day, that's ultimately what means the most to me, is being able to pursue what I love to do and enjoy waking up every morning and put my nose down and getting into this.
Now, talk about taking an idea and seeing it another way. Historically, mariachi groups have been made up of male musicians. But with the mariachi tradition alive and well in San Antonio, it makes perfect sense that a group of female musicians would step up and create their own mariachi ensemble. Meet Mariachi Las Alteñas.
Right out of high school, I was 18 years old, I decided to start my own all-female mariachi group. My passion for music, I just wanted to expand on that, and also playing with an all-female group.
It just lifts your spirits, because singing and playing music that you love and has true good meanings to it really just changes your mood, and it makes me feel prideful from where my dad comes from, because he's from Mexico, and it just brings me back to my roots.
My biggest influence is my grandfather. He is music. He used to play. He plays the guitarra. He sings. He always tells a story of when I was little, that he used to put me in the guitar case so that I would listen, and I really enjoyed music. And he said that when I was 3, I started singing, and I would just sing and sing, and then until middle school that I got interested in mariachi, and that's when it just blossomed.
The energy that we give each other, we want to share that with our audience. So we want the audience to feel the love that we have and the passion we have for mariachi music. So it starts with us and with our team.
I prefer it this way, to be honest. I have nothing against men, but I think there's something different about like a sisterhood. I really feel like the group exemplifies what a sisterhood is to me as a woman now versus as, I would say, a girl when I joined.
I've played with both, but I definitely enjoy all female because it's just a different kind of blend. You know, like everybody sounds just better. The harmonies are so much crisper, and everything is just in our keys. And not only that, we get to have a partnership, and it's very empowering to be able to play with women. So it's even better when you come out and you can sound better than some men group. It's like, yes, you know? I think they enjoy it. I think they enjoy it. I know, like, going back to my grandfather, I think it's different. Like, wow, son todas mujeres, right? You're all women. But I really think that people enjoy it. They like to see something different.
I think it shows, you know, when we perform too, because we're so used to how we move and how we play, and we know each other's looks and that type of thing, you know, because we've been playing with each other for so long.
I have a 3rd and 4th grade choir, and I love to incorporate mariachi music. And I think my parents appreciate it because my school is on the west side, so it's a lot of Hispanics. So I think they enjoy when they go in to hear the kids singing Cielito Lindo, or they're singing Peces en el Río in Christmas time. And yeah, so I definitely take every opportunity to incorporate Mexican music to my classroom, for sure.
I feel like an alteña now, officially. It's always a challenge, but it's a challenge that we look forward to.
I feel like we've been pretty blessed throughout the 17 years, finding just the right elements for the group and the right opportunities. So it's been a really great experience.
Well, that was fantastic. What a great way to wrap up this edition of The Best of the Beat. Now remember, you can see all our stories on our website at klrn.org/thebeat, and if you follow KLRN on our social media channels. I'm Chuck Cureau. We'll see you next time on The Best of the Beat.
This program is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.